Hello everyone. Today I would like to tell you something about the Yamaha MODX again. You might need a fixed velocity sensitivity for a sound, or want to generally adjust the sound behavior based on the velocity sensitivity, and I would like to show you how to do that today. First, go into performance mode. I have a performance here that is simply called template, and it contains a Javier sound. This reacts. I will try to make it even, starting with a lighter key strike and gradually increasing. We can change this now by going into the sound and editing it, and here on this page, with these two values, we can set the behavior. We now see a linear line, which means that the velocity sensitivity from 1 to 127 influences the sound from 1 to 127. Now we can change the offset, for example. And already you can see from the line that when we raise the offset, the behavior changes. This means that with a light touch, you can see the distance. When I play lightly, a relatively loud high sound already resonates from the front. So, on the x-axis is the velocity sensitivity, and on the y-axis is the volume. Even with a relatively light touch, it is very loud. If I turn this all the way up to 127, I have a fixed velocity. Sense or nonsense, one can argue about it. If we set it below 64, which means linear and even, it results in the sound being comparatively quiet, even with a loud or moderately loud strike in general. So I really have to press down hard to produce a sound. What else can I do? I can influence the angle through the depth, in addition to the offset. For example, I have a linear increase up to about 64 in the middle, and after that it is always at full volume. Of course, I can also do this in the other direction, which flattens the curve and prevents me from reaching full volume. If I want a fixed value, I set the velocity depth to 0, and can now change the volume from 0 to 127 with the offset, where 64 in this case is 0, meaning I cannot change it. I don't make single steps, but always have a two-step interval in between, which should generally be sufficient. This way, I have a fixed value that I can also influence. Now let's turn this back to the value of 6464, which means even velocity sensitivity. Here we see that we are in the common area, which means this applies to the entire single sound. However, there is also the option to fundamentally adjust the velocity curve when we go into utility mode. That means I am now changing the setting here for everything I play. We can now see a soft curve here. We can choose normal, we can choose hard, or even very hard, wide, and fixed. And then we can also set the velocity here if I want to do that for the overall performance. I chose soft because it worked quite well for me. It's actually quite simple and very helpful. We can now just do an example. We have our piano sound here now, and yes, let's just set it up like this to our project in a way that suits our needs and preferences for optimal sound quality. Then we choose another one. String sound for that. Now let's look here. The piano has a different velocity value than the string instrument. To make this very clear, I would absolutely adjust the piano to a fixed value. The piano is always the same volume, while the string instrument can be loud or soft. I hope this helps you a little. Thank you very much, and goodbye.